Hey, everybody. How's it
Hey.
going? It's
Oh,
like,
it's
surprise,
going.
we're on.
Happy
Surprise.
October.
Oh, oh my God. Yeah, October. Wow. Um, I don't know, man. I think this is the toughest one ever, honestly. And
Yes, it is.
I'm just being honest. I think this is the hardest one ever. And, you and I are usually very busy. We're usually, you know, pretty
Doing.
pretty flat out in the month
Yeah,
of October, but this, I've never seen anything like it.
it's a lot, and
It
it's
is. It's a lot.
exhausting.
It is exhausting. It's crazy. Oh, Branda, hi. You can watch the playback. You can watch the playback.
Hi,
Thank you. I
Lori.
appreciate it.
Love you,
Appreciate
Branda.
it. Oh, I got to get into I'm always in the wrong thing. Oh, hi, Lori. Hi. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's Salem, yeah, Sarah, you're so right. There's a lot of chaotic energy in the city. I agree. I agree, definitely. I feel like, well, I mean, just like everywhere else, everywhere is kind of having this staffing shortage, right? So everyone is kind of going through that. And so when you get this incredible number of people coming to one place, and you have fewer people providing the services in that one place, then you run into trouble. That's what's going on. Everywhere you go, people are waiting in line longer. For anything from a cup of coffee to a bathroom to a whatever it is. For a meal, for a whatever. And a lot of things are sold out completely. I have gotten a million emails about the events and saying like, I can't get tickets to the events. Oh, thank you. Gosh, do I wish you were here. Nichelle, boy, do I wish
Yes,
you were here.
we miss Nichelle.
Um, yeah, so it's wild. It's really, really wild. So, um, yeah,
It is
it's a lot.
overwhelming.
Hector.
It's
Mhm.
working all kinds of hours. It's the go, go, go. It's plugging in yourself in a lot of places. My lane, when you have a business, everybody has a lane. My lane's the readings and all of that. It's uncomfortable for me to be plugged into management positions and things like that. Not used to it. Not used to it. And to top it all off, that damn Mercury retrograde.
Oh
Computers are
my
crashing,
God, the
everything's
fact that
falling
we have
apart.
to deal with that on top of everything.
Yeah, it's insane. It's
Like, I'm
insane.
gonna
But
try to share this right now to my page. Guys, if you could share this, that would be great. I don't know what they have done. Facebook's really changed the way that things are done, and I cannot always share to my page from the Psychic Tea page, and it's bothering me because in the past I was easily able to do that. I can share to somebody else's timeline, but it doesn't let me share to mine. Um, it's really weird. And when I say to share to a friend's timeline, it's only letting me share to the friends of the Psychic Teas page, not like my friends. It's just it stinks.
this is all. Hopefully, this will all pass. All of the madness. Routines have been disrupted. Eating, holy cow. If I look at pizza one more time, I'm going to scream. Hi, Linda. Hi, Sarah. It's been insane. It's been
It really
insane.
has.
And I gotta say, it's not the most healthiest of years for me. Holy crap. I feel like I'm completely out of control. Does anyone else feel out of control? And how is everyone's dreams? The dreams have been so vivid. Sarah, Ann, and I have been talking about our dreams offline. And I have found them like, messages, write them down. Can't think about the messages coming down. I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
trying my best to get up, get into the habit of a routine of keeping a notebook and organizing my thoughts and
Definitely.
dreams, because they are affecting me in the waking hours.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's huge. Dream work is huge. I definitely feel like going into this darker time of the year, as we're
As we
in the waning year.
piercing the veil.
And I feel like I get more visitation from people who have passed at this time of year. Um, and those dreams are amazing, and I look forward to those dreams. I've been sleeping pretty solidly lately. I haven't necessarily had a ton of dreams. I have had a few. And they're usually just little flashes of things right now. I'm not holding on to everything that's happening in those dreams. I know that I'm missing pieces.
That's what's happening to me.
So I'm having to delve deeper into tarot readings and things of that nature to be able to get that information, because I'm not necessarily hanging on to the things that are happening in the dreams. Hi, Mike. Yeah, there's a lot. There's really a lot going on right now. So
Yeah,
it
random
is.
messages.
Yeah, and
My phone, out of nowhere, about a week or so ago, my phone went haywire, and it's kind of like you ever have that moment when you lose somebody, and all of a sudden these weird phone numbers start popping up, old messages, old voicemail messages that apparently weren't deleted from like 3 years ago, started coming up on my phone. See, everyone, Sandra and I are working all October. We haven't had a chance to talk.
No, this is like we're getting caught up right now. I mean, it's
and
crazy.
one of
Like,
those
this is
messages,
us getting caught up.
One of those messages was from Anne-Marie Law. Hi, Mike. So I sent it to him. It's just a little like, hey, hi. Yeah. And I got to hear her voice. It was lovely.
Oh my gosh. What a blessing.
It was
Wow,
a
what a blessing.
Some other things were
Wow.
reminders of and I just, it's funny, the universe will tap you on the head and say, you know what? You know who's important. You know who, it was a message from you. And it was like almost literally 3 years ago. And it was strange.
And was I giving you a pep talk?
Yes, you were. You're like, you got this. Don't lie down. Get up. It was good. It was a good one.
Girl, get up. Girl, get up. I love that sound. If anybody here is on TikTok, that sound that a lot of people are doing, the trend where it's like, girl, get up. My daughter needs to see you get up. Your sister needs to see you get up. Girl, get up. Like, that gets me so pumped.
Yeah.
Like, woo, let's do it. So anyway, yeah, there's wow, there's a lot. There is a lot. So here we go into a time of year where we get introspective, where we're looking within more. And that can be uncomfortable. There's a lot of talk nowadays about shadow work and what that all means. And of course that's getting bandied about quite a bit, and that's the new buzz phrase or whatever. And it has been for a while now, I guess, but you're seeing it a lot on social media where people are talking about the shadow work, and also a lot of people are doing inner child work at this point, where they are healing past trauma. And sometimes when you heal past trauma, you disrupt the relationships that you're currently in, as you stop doing certain things that things that your trauma defense mechanisms and things that your trauma caused you, behaviors that your trauma caused you to adopt. And sometimes you stop behaving in a certain pattern that has attracted or allowed certain people into your sphere. And so when you start healing from these things, you will see a disruption in the people around you. And it'll be harder for you to be with people who who are not also kind of on that same healing path, and people that are still having those issues. And there are some cycles that get perpetuated from that behavior. And there's a lot that you can do magically to try to disrupt some of these patterns, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, because I know the card you're going to talk about today,
Do you?
Leanne.
Do you?
I do.
Because it is all about death and transformation. And when we let go of something, we allow another thing to take its place.
That's
It's
right.
a scary thing.
It can be scary for many people. People fight change hard. They
so
really
hard.
do.
Endings frighten the world. This is why so much money and so much fight against death. This is why end life care needs to be addressed. So the card of the month is going to be the death card. And it's all about letting go and releasing. It's the thing we hate the most is change. But we fear it, we resist it. But if we don't change and if we don't die, then we decay and we rot sitting there. New things in other people that we see, new beginnings. Sometimes that threatens our own groundwork, our own, but we have to let it go. It's very hard. When we see death in the death card, it's actually a beautiful card. It has that wonderful, white horse. It is portrayed as a living skeleton. These bones in our body, they take a lot. They take a huge toll. But if you look in the background, there's the sun, the new day. Look forward to what death brings, because what death brings is life. It brings life. It begins new opportunities. And, even though you let go of something new will be in its path. If you hold on to something you think is so important, so that thing becomes so important, that person, that anything, but in your heart when it's time to walk away from it and move on. But there's even personal aspects of yourself that shadow work. When you look at yourself, you sit back and you say, well, I've done this and this and this and this and this for people, I'm such a nice person. But have you really examined why you do things? Why are you running to help everyone? You sent me an amazing TikTok video. I cannot believe half my therapy now comes from TikTok. It's ridiculous. That bitterness you hang on to, it's wrong. If you're going to do it, if you're going to do something, you got to let it go, and you have to really examine it. You're not trying to bargain for love. You're not trying to bargain for attention. All that comes from ego. Gifts should come from the heart and from the soul, and that's when we really, really are capable of connecting with our true self. Okay, that higher self beyond the veil, and that's what this time is for. It's time to let go, and as Sarah said, mourn what you lost. It's okay to cry. It's okay to rage. Think of creative outlets to get through it. Write, draw, sing. Sing in the
We need
shower.
more expression of grief, not less expression of grief. We need to be able to express grief more so that we can get through it. It's like there is a healing. You're never going to be the same. Let's face it. When you lose someone incredibly important to you, you're never going to be the same as before the loss. And that's not what anyone's really aiming for anyway. You're not looking to, you're not looking to make it so that it, quote unquote, doesn't hurt anymore. That's impossible. But what you are looking to do is allow that grief out so that it doesn't just eat you away from the inside. And I think there's so much in our culture where we are escaping pain. We're constantly escaping pain, and we're trying to get away from that in any way that we can. And one of the things that I will say is that all of the work that we've been doing with death, that all the work Leanne and I have done, gosh, it's almost 20 years now, if you can believe it. It's
Yes.
19 years now. All the work we've done with death, it still doesn't make us immune to that pain. But I think it equips us better to process that grief. I think the magic that we have done and the work that we have done and the work that I do with the skulls, yes,
Yep.
Hector, Hector noticed, uh, you know, the representation that I was holding up. The work that I've done with that has really helped me process so much about the loss that I'm feeling for certain situations. And it isn't even just people, but we've suffered great losses. Most recently, losing Abigail, extremely difficult for our family. If you know us, then you know Abigail, our pug, and you know her adventures. And we had so many adventures with her this year. Um, but our time with her on the physical plane came to an end. And that's the other thing, is like endings. It's trying to process and deal with endings. And we don't do that great with endings, and sometimes we don't even do that great with new beginnings. Sometimes we're resistant on things that are entering our world, and we're fumbling through, so it's like it really, some of the work that I'm really looking to do in the dark time this year, is to reach into those caverns, within myself, and encourage others to do the same, and pull out those broken things, and pull out, because those are gems, like that's beautiful. Some of, honestly, artists, some of their best work is born out of grief. And so, it's like we have to be able to express that grief. And so part of what, the work that Leanne and I have done over the years is helping people express grief, helping people communicate with their dead, helping people process the ends of relationships, of all kinds. People, losing jobs that they've had for so long, and I mean, the sheer number of people that have lost people in their lives over the past year and a half. I mean, come on, we're in a pandemic. Like, the amount of people that are coming to Salem and asking for mediumship
Yes.
readings has grown, to a point where our mediums are just in spirit all day long. They're just in spirit for hours and hours and hours. They're crossing that veil, and they're
Over and
there
over
for
again.
hours and hours. And it can be very draining. You got to come back to the real world. You got to drink some water. You got to eat something. You got to get grounded back in your body. And one of the things that I was going to talk to you guys about today is another grounding stone that's also, a stone of purification, and that is shungite. And I'm going to show you, some shungite. It can be reflective at times. So it's like, I'm going to show you the screen and you're going to look at it. This is a shungite charging plate. So I use these for a number of different things. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So shungite, one of the most popular things that people, when they talk about shungite, um, they talk about purifying water. That was one of the big things. I mean, historically, because it's made up of carbon. That's its main mineral inside of it, is it's mainly carbon. And so it's great for purification. It's literally good for purifying water. So spiritually, it's also really good for purification, and it's good for grounding. So holding on to shungite, just even holding shungite in your hands, like I have, shungite palm stone, and that and a hematite, and I am so level, like I am so boom, like that. Hematite, my weighted blanket of the stone world, my comfort grounding. But shungite, it's kind of like, they go together like frankincense and myrrh. Okay, like they go together. We've got We've got that grounding, that's super, super ground energy from hematite, but we also have that purification and grounding coming from shungite. So to charge things, I know a lot of people use selenite. I love selenite. I think it's wonderful. So that's got a very light energy. That's like the super light side of the charging world. This is the dark side. Come to the dark side. It's pretty amazing. Shungite is amazing. So when you feel like Sarah's asking if we feel like we're kind of floating away, when you're too up in your, when you're way too up in your light, shungite helps to bring that wisdom from your higher self into your physical body, and helps you translate that and make it happen and manifest it in the real world. So when you're getting all this information from dreams, and you're getting all these communications from spirit, and you're hearing all these things, shungite helps translate that into real world action and real world feelings and actual, it brings it more into the present. It brings it more into the world. So that can help there as well. And one of the other things that you can do, because we all know that sometimes you need to neutralize people. There are times when you're not looking to harm people, but you're looking to neutralize them. I like to take a picture of said person and slap it between two of these puppies.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that just kind of, that sort of like takes the static out of the situation a lot of times. So shungite can be good for that too. You're not trying to actually hurt that person, but you might just need to like level that person's shit out for a while. So these handy dandy shungite plates are extremely useful. They're useful for all kinds of things. So like I said, purification, grounding, and neutralizing.
I neutralized that.
Let's talk about astrology now.
Okay, yeah, where are you, Tim?
Where are you, Tim?
Hurry up. There you are, Arnie.
How's it going,
Tell me all
everybody?
the things.
Can we hear me okay? I always have to check. I
got you.
Yes, I had to get some new phones with earphones, but a new phone as well during this Mercury retrograde. And of course, here we are, retrograde season. All these planets are coming out of retrograde. So it's like some big shifts are being made. We're possibly going one direction. All of a sudden now we're going a different direction. And it's definitely affecting a lot of us now. Of course, we've had like 6 planets in retrograde these past couple of months. Besides Mercury, which has really kind of halted a lot of big projects from growing and moving forward. And even we might have seen this on a global scale, some major projects kind of just really going super slow or not moving at all. And of course, then we go into Mercury retrograde, which is the ruler of the lower mind and our communication and our day-to-day transactions. So this can affect our immediate world, our physical world, but these outer planets tend to affect more global, like larger scale society as a whole, that sort of thing. Now, one thing that is super interesting on the new moon, I always like to look at each new moon kind of like the birthday. So if you're looking at like your birth chart is a picture of when you entered into this world, a picture of the universe at the exact moment you entered in. You embodied all the characteristics of the planets at that exact moment. So when we're looking at a new moon chart for the next month, it's kind of similar looking at a birth chart. Whatever's happening at the exact moment of that new moon can kind of give us some clues for what's happening for the rest of the month. So this new moon that just happened on October 6th, of course, we had the 6 planets in retrograde. Mars was conjunct the sun and the moon. Now, Mars, of course, is all about passion and aggression, and typically can add some extra energy to our new moon goals. But it was also square Pluto, I believe, at the time. And Pluto, just a few hours after the new moon, went direct. So Pluto is basically hanging out in the sky stationary, kind of like shining a spotlight on Earth because it was just in the process of shifting directions. So this month cycle has really embodied a lot of Plutonian characteristics. Pluto, of course, the god of the underworld. We have all kind of felt a tug of the pool of the underworld as we are heading closer to that, thinning of the veil on October 31st, which is known as around the world in many cultures as the beginning of a new year. And, there's the Celtic New Year and several other cultures that celebrate this as being kind of the beginning of the new year. And of course, the veil is the thinnest, with many planets in retrograde. Also, mediumship readings are very good during this time because we are looking towards the past. So that is another way to harness the energy of Mercury retrograde is past life regression readings. Mediumship readings are highly favored. I try to stay away from readings, especially about the future, just personally, especially since Mercury is my ruling planet. It kind of hits me a little different. And so I kind of stay away from readings if I can. I end up always having issues with confirming dates or time frames. Sometimes it kind of messes me up. But going back to Pluto, we were talking also about dreams recently. Pluto rules the psychological part of our brain, the death and rebirth, transformation, shadow work, digging deep into those deep issues. So I feel like these past couple of weeks, a lot of things that have been coming up for people have been deep buried things that are coming up have been buried maybe for a very long time. Now all those things are coming out, including those bad feelings that might have been associated with it. But it really was so that we can properly heal from these things. Some of those wounds sometimes are reopened. And yes, it hurts at the moment, and sometimes we have to experience that pain, acknowledge it, but then release it and let it go. Again, going back to these Plutonian themes, Pluto is about death and rebirth. So perfect with the death card, letting go. So this is a big month of, yes, we are facing things that we may or may not want to face, but are we holding on to that? Are we releasing it? Are we letting it go? Are we dealing with it? Are we facing it so it never comes up ever again? These are the things that we want to think about when we're facing all these undesirable things that we're facing, right? Now, again, Mars adding that extra energy to the new moon, and of course, being kind of in a negative aspect with Pluto stationing direct. This is, again, adding a lot of power to this energy of this month. Pluto also being the planet of power. We're going to see this a lot of power struggles, especially with governments, a lot of power struggles, even in our intimate lives. We may see some shifts of leadership, shifts of authority figures, management, that sort of thing. And that will be more in our personal lives, but we can see some of this even happening in the bigger scheme of things, a larger scale. Now, and the other thing that was happening with the planet Uranus was making a kind of mild negative aspect to the sun and moon on October 6th. But as we get to the full moon that's just coming up very soon on the 20th, this full moon is going to be exactly opposite of the of Uranus. Let me just double check here, make sure I'm saying this correctly. But here we go. I don't have a picture to show you guys because I'm not risking any issues with Mercury retrograde, but I do have a picture up here. So yes, on October 20th, this is going to be the full moon, and it's actually going to be in negative aspect with the Pluto in Capricorn. Again, it's going to be, I'm sorry, not in negative aspect with Pluto, but the sun and the moon is what's going to be in negative aspect with Pluto, and Uranus is going to be kind of like opposite the full moon. Uranus is all about major changes, revolution, technology, upheaval of the old way so that we can introduce a new way to things. So as we go into this next month, before I mention about this full moon, Jupiter and Mercury do come out of retrograde on the 18th. So again, we're going to feel a big shift this in a few more days. Jupiter ruling the higher mind, Mercury ruling the lower mind. So this is going to truly affect our minds, our mental abilities, travel. This is also going to affect a lot of mental things, a lot of air element things. So air is about the mind, about communication, about travel. So thinking about that, all those things are about to shift very soon. But this full moon is kind of giving us a glimpse of the next month that we're entering into as we get to this Uranus energy that's going to be squaring off with a Saturn. A few months ago when Saturn and Uranus were squaring off with each other, we saw a lot of civil unrest. We saw a lot of even natural disasters. Winter Storm Uri was in the early beginning of the year was the coldest winter Texas ever saw. There was snow all over. I experienced it firsthand. Never seen snow like that here in West Texas, and of course we also saw lots of things happening, like things like the Afghanistan, Palestine situation, all kinds of civil, social unrest, not just in America but around the world. So just something to think about. Uranus is about major changes, about revolution. We've seen some of that this month, but there's going to be even more coming. Where if there's things in our life that need dire change, Uranus is going to bring that up. And when people don't want to change, what that energy turns into is chaos. And it can be very disruptive. Uranus is the revolutionary. So he will fight to the end for the betterment of people as a whole, for society as a whole. Trying to fight for the people. This is supposed to be a time where some of the power is going to come back more to the people. I feel like that's something we're seeing on a global scale in regards to Pluto, these big governments, is that a lot of people in authority are still trying to control certain aspects, especially with the pandemic. Kind of some of those things are coming into play as well. And this is where some of that power is supposed to be given back to the people. You might see people revolting more, the more protests, situations like that. So sorry to keep going on and on.
No, I love it. Are you kidding me?
So yes, lots of things. But going back to just this little cycle, looking back, this Plutonian energy that's going to follow us, this major changes happening throughout our lives. This has been a tough Mercury retrograde for me. I just had a huge fall at work. Feet up in the air, like literally horizontal, fell on my back. Luckily, it wasn't anything worse. I was able to heal. Also had to put our family dog to rest. Marley, who's been with us for a long time, was our family dog. But yes, so going through all of those things, this Mercury retrograde has been really wild. But again, this is
so
a lot of
many
things.
like I just want to jump in. So
Yeah.
many animals are leaving right now.
There is. I've
Like
seen
we
a lot
lost
all
Abigail,
through Facebook.
and you lost Marley, and
Colleen
so many animals are leaving right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
It's freaking me out as a dog owner.
Yeah,
it's freaking me out. Like Damien, she's running around. If you can see me looking distracted, I'm like, what are you doing? What is she doing? But yeah, shout out to Colleen. She just lost her familiar and like the love of her life, Cleo.
Right? It's awful.
I am so sorry, honey. And
it's heart crushing.
It is heart crushing, and it's weird. We know
it's a cycle. We know it's a cycle we all go through, but it's still, yes, something, of course. And again, I feel like this tug from the underworld with Hades and Pluto, especially, there's a lot of just that Plutonian energy, death, rebirth, again, learning to let go of all those things there's been stuff coming up that I was like completely surprised the very first day of Mercury retrograde, getting a message from someone I haven't spoke to in a very long time. And I was like, there was a reason why we kind of stopped speaking. And so I didn't go there. But all of these things that keep coming up that we might have noticed is for a reason. It's so that we can advance and learn to move forward and achieve our higher self. And some of that, before we get new groceries, we got to put the old ones down, right? Can't go grocery shopping holding 2 bags, like they say. So still lots of exciting things to come, especially with Mercury and Jupiter going direct. Now Saturn has just recently gone direct as well. So expect after this 18th, and things are really going to start moving forward, jumping forward. Projects that we might have been working on and planning, if we've been planning correctly, now is the time to actually put them into action and move forward. I know have a lot of things that I've been planning and working on. I'm waiting to put into moving forward next week. But yes, this full moon in Aries coming up on the 20th is going to happen right after all of that happens. So things will be illuminated. there'll be themes of what's happening with me versus them. I feel like there's even some revenge energy throughout this past month because of some of those things that are coming up. You know, Pluto deals with revenge. Pluto deals with violence due to revenge and chaos. So that's as we let's see.
I'm just gonna put it out there. People
Yes.
better hope. People better hope that I don't wake up and choose violence this month.
Yeah.
People better hope.
And
I don't wake up and choose violence.
We're in Libra season still. This is supposed to be the diplomatic season.
Hold on.
but-
Somebody has a birthday.
So
tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Happy birthday to our lovely Sandra tomorrow, Libra season.
And I don't even get to go out with her and have our usual traditional sushi extravaganza until November.
But we will.
We will. I want a boat.
And when we do,
I want to get you
you're going to need a bigger boat.
I want a bigger boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat. Just like Jaws, we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah, like large boat. But yes, it has been crazy. I want to ask you something, Tim. Does it mean that on Saturday all my clients are going to be late again?
Don't even.
I love you all.
We will put it out there. We will put it out there. But yeah, traffic has been. Southwest Airlines has canceled a bunch of flights again, saying it was due to weather. But you know, just this past Mercury retrograde, the same thing happened. Their weather computer told all the other computers if there was inclement weather, and all flights were canceled, like thousands of flights. And I remember because there was a huge sale right after that, I think, for them to kind of try to pick up the pieces, and I took advantage of that sale and got something. But anyways, some
people were saying it had to do with mechanical issues.
Mechanical,
not weather.
Facebook and Instagram went down also. I mean, this has been a pretty powerful Mercury retrograde. Again, Pluto stationing direct.
And the whistleblower situation and
revenge again, all of that stuff. Deep issues coming up, psychological stuff. Now they say, October 30th, Mars is going to go into Scorpio. Now, Mars it likes Scorpio. That's one of the signs it rules, and Scorpio is definitely about karmic. And so as we are dealing with some of these karmic lessons this month, if we deal with them properly, things will go smoothly. But otherwise, some of that revenge is going to leak over.
Stop saying that word.
November. Yeah.
Shit's about to go.
Stop saying again.
So we gotta learn our lessons this month so they don't repeat next month.
yeah, they won't repeat next month.
No.
Because I'm gonna be on a plane somewhere with an umbrella and a big hat.
Please. I can't.
I'll have another.
Mexico, here I come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandra and I are gonna build a cabin in the woods.
Yep, we're just going. We're going to a remote area. We're off in a remote area. Sorry, no Wi-Fi. Sorry.
We are
no
out
Wi-Fi.
of touch. The phone does not work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone. I've been talking to clients every day, and everyone's feeling the same kind of cosmic pressure, insanity, all of this. So instead of
what Andrew just said that Lou put up on the screen right here, loss of energy and severe irritability and aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I've definitely dealt with people that yes. Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
Oh yeah.
That's been real for a lot of people.
And of course, we need to capitalize on the words, recharging, even resting, R-E. But this is a time of reflection, a time of recharging, replanning, reviewing, trying not to focus too much on moving forward. I feel like that's when we will hit the brick walls if we're not careful.
You know what else is a word? Revenge.
We weren't going to say that anymore. We weren't going to say it
anymore. Okay.
But I just had a realization.
A realization.
So I think it's time to retire.
Yes. All of those.
No. So let's all remember that we're all going through this. One of
Let's
the best
remember.
ways- let's remember that all of us are going through this. So we might want to communicate with one another in healthy ways. Tell
Yes.
people how you feel. Don't let it blow up. Take
Yes.
your time. If you love someone enough, pause and really talk to them. Say, this is what's bothering you.
There's
before
another
you
thing.
Respond.
There's another reconciliation.
Reconciliation.
Yes.
That's another one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I like what you said, Leanne, about pausing. Mercury retrograde, that's literally what it has us do. It has us stop, look at things differently before we actually move forward. And I like to explain to people, it's like walking backwards. When you're walking backwards, it feels weird, right? You're using different muscles that you don't normally use. You are building those muscles you don't normally use, but you're also looking at things from a completely different perception, and you're re-looking at things you might have just passed. So yes, this is a strange, weird time, but if we look at it that way, that we are getting a different perception, pausing, reflecting, but also building muscles we don't normally use. And we need those muscles too. We need those back muscles on our legs when we are, for strength. So if we can look at it that way, sometimes it's better to get through this time. Just a few more days. Next week's energies, I feel, is going to be completely different to this week's energy for sure.
I agree.
And also, I'm thinking, rewind.
Rewind.
You know what I mean? So, like, taking steps backwards, like you're talking about. Rewind.
Reviewing. Yep.
Definitely reviewing. But
how about
how about respect?
Yeah.
Respect.
How about respect?
And respect.
RESPECT. You know what I'm saying?
Respect for ourselves as well. Saturn going direct on the 10th, was it? That was, Saturn's all about boundaries and, respecting those boundaries, accountability, limitations. So all of those themes, again, were also, and it was funny that was right around the time I slipped and fell at work. And that was the first thing I thought of, was my foundations are being swept from underneath me. And literally, some things did change in this recently, but for the better. So, but yes, sometimes going forward can cause us to slip and realize, hey, we need to pause, we need to stop, maybe even go backwards a little bit before going forward. Sometimes you got to go 2 steps back, right, before we can go 5 steps forward.
Now, didn't we pull the Hanged Man? Didn't you pull the Hanged Man last?
Yes,
was
I
that
did.
That was last time, right?
Yes, that was last time, and it was a perspective.
So,
but this is also a time, when we're working at such a level and spirit is so alive and there's so much energy out there. Reinforce your boundaries.
Yes.
Reinforce those boundaries and protect yourself, because not every energy coming to you, not everything, every emotion is yours. It's sometimes it belongs to someone else. Don't own someone else's misery.
Yep.
Don't take it on.
And you might need to restructure things in your life. You might need to restructure what your priorities are, where you're spending your time, who's where in the hierarchy of your world. You need to look at that and really decide, if people are in the positions that they, belong in.
And as we get closer to this full moon on the 20th, the full moon is in Aries, the sun will be in Libra. So that is exactly the theme that you just talked about, Sandra. Aries is first sign of the zodiac, all about independence, self, the house of self. Libra is all about relationships, working with others, cooperation. And so there's going to be that huge theme, even more so of evaluating, where am I versus where am I with these people? Independence versus codependence. All of those themes will be coming up for sure. Relationships versus self, doing for self versus doing for others. If you're doing too much for others and not enough for yourself, it's going to show up. It may show up by you getting sick and you're going to have to be in bed because you are not taking care of yourself. You got to,
One of the really important things that I want to talk about in this retrograde that we're talking about, all these rewords, is also the fact that relationships, that's relating.
Relating.
That's how you relate to others and whether or not you can relate to them. And sometimes that means you need to shift your perspective, like that, like that hanged man, and you need to try to see where that other person's coming from. Why do they think that they have the grounds to stand on when they're maybe coming at something so opposite you that it's literally upside down, just like you were flat on your back? Why are they so strong about their position? How can you try to put their head on and understand where they're coming from? If you're not willing to even give that a shot, then it's over. Like, if you can't relate, you can't have a relationship. If you can't understand where that person's coming from. And here's the other thing, and this is coming from a TikTok. But this TikTok blew my mind, and I wish I had the person's name. I wish I had the TikTok person's name, because I would say it right now, because I would give credit where it's due. But sometimes you just scroll so fast through these things. But one of the things that I'm going to put into practice is when I am trying to relate to someone and we are at odds and we're not agreeing and we're not seeing things from the same perspective, instead of me saying, I feel like you blah, 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 because we've all been taught that to relate to somebody, we have to talk about our feelings. So we're like, I feel like you don't pay attention to me, or I feel like you don't understand me, or I feel like you take me for granted, or I feel like you do this or you do that. It's still pointing fingers, guys. When you're talking about that, you are literally trying to say, my feelings are all about how I don't like your behavior. This is what you're doing. You might as well just say, you're doing this and I don't like it. When you start talking like that, you immediately are putting that person on the defensive, because what you're saying is, your actions are responsible for my feelings. I am no longer responsible for the way I feel. You're responsible for my feelings, and your behavior is now responsible for me. And I'm putting my feelings onto you and saying, you act like this, and that's why I feel like this. But what you can say is something like, I would like to feel more loved by you. I would like to feel like I have your attention when I'm speaking to you. I would like to feel like we are getting along better and we're listening to each other. I would like to feel like we are able to talk about our differences safely without getting in a fight. What you want to do is say what you want to see. Not stop talking about what you don't want to see anymore, and start talking about what you want to see. And that's going to shift all the relationships. That's going to shift your close personal relationships. That's going to shift your work relationships. That's going to shift your friendships. Stop talking about the bad behavior. Start visualizing and talking about the good behavior. And let's make more of the good behavior happen. Because what we're doing when we start talking to people about their bad behavior, everybody wants to jump to their own defense. It's a natural human action to jump to your own defense and be like, but. That shuts conversations down more than it opens them up. It just makes people fight even more. So when you start framing it up and saying, like, I feel like we need more alone time together. I feel like we need to take some special time out and spend it together. Not like, I feel like you're ignoring me. Mm-hmm. I feel like you don't want to spend time with me. It needs to be, turn it around and focus on the good. And then when you get that good, don't act like an asshole and go, finally. Don't sit there and punish a person for doing the thing you asked them to do. When you finally get what you want, be grateful and don't be sour about it and don't be sarcastic about it. You got what you wanted. Be happy. You'll get more that way.
Right.
Thank you. Sometimes it's just a nice... Thank you.
Speaking as the Libra who loves the partnership, speaking as the Libra who, our thing is cooperation. We love collaboration. We love to do team energy. We love all of that. So, yeah. So discussing a messy room with a teenager. Well, first of all, I want to unpack why that mess is there. Because I think that is a conversation that could be very helpful to understand what's causing that. Because sometimes people have certain ways of processing things where they need stuff to be right out where they can see it, or it disappears for them. So sometimes you get somebody that seems like their house is a mess, but it's because they have so many things going on that they're trying to keep track of, and they need to visualize it all, or it'll slip into the ethers and be forgotten. And so sometimes it's a matter of finding a better way to help that person organize things so that they can, do their life. You know what I mean? And so sometimes it's a matter of changing things up. Honestly, the world is built for neurotypical people, because more often than not, it's built by neurotypical people. We need to start focusing on the fact that a lot of people are not neurotypical, and they need better solutions that work for them. We need more creators who are neurotypical, who can get stuff out there that can help people organize their space, organize their calendar, and we are seeing that. We're definitely seeing that. There are definitely planners that are specifically geared for people that have ADHD and other issues. And so we need more of that. We need more people who are not neurotypical, who understand the challenges those people face.
With patience.
I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and goes, I want to be a slob. I love being a slob. I love being messy. I think it's more of a case of, some things have gotten out of my control, and I'm not quite sure how to pull them back into control. And so arming somebody like that with the proper tools is really where it's at. So I would start, how can I help you to better get your space to where we both like it, to where you can function in it, and to where I can feel like it's clean, and it's somewhat healthy, a healthy space. That's, I think, what we want. And I think it's also important when you have a teenager to allow them some autonomy in that space, because they only have one little space in the house that's like their little space. So it might not be organized and decorated exactly the way you might like to see it. So there needs to be a cooperative effort. There needs to be like a team effort there of like, okay, let's see what we can compromise on. Let's see how we can make this work better. Maybe there's a better way that we can handle laundry. Maybe there's not enough storage space for all the clothing. So things are being left out because there's no way to put them back in. If I had $1 for every friend I have who has so much clothing and not enough storage in their homes for that clothing, so the clothing just winds up everywhere because there's no way to put it away. Because even on laundry day, the drawers are still full. The closet is still full. Like, that's a problem. In the modern world, clothing and stuff has become so inexpensive. We have way more. Like, I live in a house that's over 100 years old, so my closets don't function. So I need more other storage solutions so that in a modern world where we own 1 million clothes, it's like, yeah, that's not going to function the way it did back then. Clothing was an expensive venture back then. Now it's not. So, we buy clothes all the time. We think nothing of it. 100 years ago, clothes was a major expense. Now it's really not. It's like, it's almost like a dinner. I can get a dress for what I pay for a dinner. That was not the case 100 years ago, guys. So sometimes it's just a matter of, I don't have the proper storage solutions for these items that I own. So they just wind up kind of everywhere, and that's, so it's like, I would approach it from like a, how you would approach another type of malfunction in the house. Like, okay, if the plumbing's not working, we get the plumber in here, we fix it, we reroute it, we do whatever we need to do, we upgrade it, we, whatever needs to happen. So it's like, because like, believe me, in a magical space, which that's, our homes are our little, they're our temples, and we sometimes have literal temples in them. But, even then, if the vibe's off, it's no good for anybody. It's not good. Mentally, I get all discombobulated when my space is out of control. So clean the house, clean the mind, clean the body, everything.
So
you know what I mean?
It's so
It's
hard.
so hard. It's so
I
hard.
can't
It's hard to
explain
keep
it.
up with it.
This has been following me since I was a child. The messy girl that was shamed in front of everyone. My desk dropped into a trash can in front of everyone. Constantly being mocked about my organizational skills. I mean, I've learned to laugh about it and live with it. But on a month like this, I can't even tell you what it's like. I want someone to come in and help me. I would beg for someone to come in and help me. Tim helps me great in the shop. He's able to be so organized that I can adapt to whatever that is around me. But I live with everyone in this house has ADD. We are doing this outside today because I can't show you inside. And it makes you, so if you have kids with ADD, ADHD, if even OCD, all of those things are real things.
Yeah.
You joke about them, but it's tough. It's tough. It's funny.
Yeah.
I want to have a show on this, how ADD and psychic ability are hand in hand.
They are. They're absolutely linked. They're
It's a gift.
absolutely linked.
Let's stop shaming
doubt in
people
my
for their
mind.
gifts because other people don't understand them.
That's
Oh,
I
right.
might not be the best housekeeper in the world. I might not even really give a shit if my laundry's done. But I can say this, I'm a great psychic and I'm a good person.
That's right.
So those two things, Sandra, we write together. She sees it. She'll be like, oh, this was a bad ADT day. She's going over there. She might have had too much sugar. But we have to start celebrating people's gifts and stop
Absolutely.
calling them, this disorder. It's not. We are superheroes, every single one of us, whether you have this disorder or that disorder, or I don't care what you have. Your mental illnesses are maybe just a part of your superpower that has not really manifested into this planet. You can't tell me that all of a sudden all these kids are having, I hear about so many children with autism. I'm wondering if there's some kind of, that might be a manifestation that eventually we'll find is what we need to survive. Their skills. They have skills we haven't explored. We have skills we haven't explored.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Look at this. Relook. Oh, Jesus, I said a re again.
Well, guys, believe it or not, we got about a minute left. So I just want to say, this is an incredible time. We're all extremely busy, I know, but we need to take a moment and realize, what is going, what the main thing here is connecting with our beloved dead, honoring them, hopefully making a connection with them while the veil is thin, going within and looking at, what we've got, in our lives right now. Is it time to let some of that go? Is it time to forge ahead and go, and start something new? Basically taking the winter to go a little deeper, deeper into our spirituality, deeper into the things that nourish us. We need to feed our souls right now. Let's enough with the feeding of the body. Let's go to the feeding of the soul. Let's move into the feeding of the soul, because that's where that's going to heal. That's going to heal past trauma. That's going to prepare us for the future, for a better, brighter future, for more, ways that we can be like living our best life. So that's my inspo for you.
So happy birthday, Sandra.
Happy birthday, Sandra. Thank you.
And everyone, happy Halloween.
Yes.
And blessed Samhain.
Yes.
Black holes echo